In today's video, we're going to compare the game we cover mostly on this channel, upcoming sandbox RPG Hytale, to one of the oldest names in the gaming space. Tetris. Wait, no, we'll do that another time. A platform that has evolved over 15 years in much the same way that Hytale plans to. And if you're any sort of gaming gamer, then you've definitely heard of it. Today, we ask, will Hytale become like Roblox? Welcome back to Kweebec Corner. My name is Connor, and today on the Development Circle, we break down why exactly Hytale shares similarities with Roblox, how the two compare as gaming platforms, and how they differ fundamentally from one another. I spent a lot of time researching this video, so if you would consider subscribing, that would really make my day. Minecraft gets compared to Hytale a lot. Like, a lot. No other game gets brought up nearly as often, and that's because visually they do compare in many ways. It's the first thing that anyone notices about a game, how it looks. But deeper than that, Hytale shares similarities with many other titles, as pointed out in many of my video comment sections. Cube World, Terraria, Trove, World of Warcraft, and there's a reason for that. Hytale is made by gamers and players inspired by all of those titles I just mentioned. They're out to make a game that stands above the rest, and to do that, they have to take the best parts of gaming and merge them together. That's what Fortnite did, that's what Minecraft did, and it's now what Hypixel Studios aims to do. Roblox is a special case, however, because out of all of those games, Roblox is the closest, in my opinion, to Hytale in infrastructure and the way it acts as a platform rather than just a game. Whether you heard of the game years ago when you were a kid or you're only playing games on there regularly today, Roblox has touched multiple generations of gamers' lives. Millennials, Gen Z, boomers, here's some facts real quick that you may not have known about Roblox. It's older than you may think, first off. Originally, the idea started as an educational physics engine in 1989, but in 2004 the creators sold that engine to build an even more ambitious game, starting with a few blocks crashing into each other, and then from kids experimenting with those blocks eventually grew to a platform that hosts tens of thousands of games to millions of players concurrently across PC, mobile, console, and VR devices. It's one of the most played games of all time, and funnily enough, doesn't actually have a single game to play. Roblox is made up of servers and projects that are made by the players. Are you starting to see how this stacks up against Hytale yet? I mean, just look at Roblox's Google Trend data. Number 1. Players. Now, most know Roblox for its traditional simplistic characters and low-poly environments, but that's not the case anymore. Since 2015, Roblox have integrated a more curved version of characters, refining the style and animations into the R15 rigs, and in 2018 took it further with high-fidelity Arthro models, which were introduced and began popping up all over their marketing, fitting the more stereotypical gaming character. This range of styles allows users of all ages to find an identity and look that suits them within the Roblox metaverse. Hytale characters, on the other hand, do seem to have a one base model that fits all kind of deal, at least for the humans for now. We can assume that the ability to switch between curvier models just wouldn't really work in Hytale. It aims to remain a block game as far as we know, whereas Roblox was taking steps to create a more high fidelity and high poly asset load to upgrade with the times. And at the same time, we're providing multiple body types that could facilitate the vast array of experiences being made. In a way, Roblox were facilitating the need for a wider audience. And we're yet to see if Hytale are going to take steps towards that. Number 2. Gameplay. Now, Hytale is going to have a great big adventure mode. You'll be able to experience and enjoy every second of it, whether in single player or connected with friends via LAN. There's a story, procedurally generated terrain, advanced mob AI, structures, factions, and quests. But Roblox, it doesn't have a single player. While there are some solo style custom maps, there's not actually an official Roblox server or campaign. Originally, Roblox had a very limited gameplay space, but in 2006 they began allowing users to create their own spaces and develop their own games with built-in tools. The first of which being Rocket Arena, and over years has expanded dramatically with hundreds, then thousands of user-coded games, which are all hosted on Roblox's servers. The more a game fills up, the more servers it needs. We've seen entire development teams even grow behind some of these titles, Jailbreak, Adopt Me, and many more. So, no campaign in Roblox, but lots of dramatically different and unique experiences. And technically, you could lower the server limit of your game to one person. In fact, there are single-player experiences in Roblox, but they're not the fundamental campaigns that we know and love, more like custom maps and stories, limited by the tools Roblox provides. They're actually one of the least popular types of experiences on the whole platform. And this idea of a platform, working harder to develop your tools than the game itself, is a huge similarity between these two games. Roblox is like an engine, a social network. Hytale also seeks to act as somewhat of a platform and engine. Sure, they've got the adventure mode, but besides it looking amazing, if you really think about it, it's basically one big example of what can be done with the tools they're going to provide us. Things like the model maker and the in-game scripting, it'll then be up to us, the players, to take them and innovate new experiences on our own servers on top of what they provide. So Roblox and Hytale both have really awesome tools, which we'll touch on more soon, but the difference here is that Hytale actually took their tools and handcrafted a single-player / campaign experiences for the users to enjoy first, to show off what was possible, which is pretty smart if you think about it. They obviously also have their own multiplayer server, which will likely help push innovation on that side of things too. Another difference is that Roblox hosts the servers for all of their games, while it's likely with Hytale, similar to Minecraft, you'll need to host your own. Even today, you'd be surprised how limited Roblox server capacity is with the amount they have to host. Most worlds only capable of holding up to 60 to 80 players at a time. Of course, if a game had, say, 100,000 players online at once, which some of these top games actually do, then they'd need thousands of servers dedicated to them to operate, all run and paid for by Roblox. With Hytale, however, we'll likely see a larger player cap, and if you want to expand your player pool even further, you'll have to buy a new server. There may be a way to rent officially hosted Hytale servers, much like how Minecraft Realms works, but nothing like that has been announced so far. Number 3. Currency and in-game microtransactions. Now, people are probably thinking, how did Roblox get so big if they have no main game, host everyone's servers, and are free to sign up and play on? Well, I introduced to you Robux. Robux is kinda like an in-game currency, something you'd spend real money to acquire on an app like gems or books. But it's a bit different. Robux is the currency used throughout the whole platform of Roblox to help centralize every purchase. And every time you spend some Robux, you guessed it, Roblox gets a cut. Whether you're buying access to a game that's had a price tag put on it by a developer, or if you're trying to buy a piece of clothing from the catalog, Roblox will receive some of that money. Free-to-play games just have to do things like this. We see it with Fortnite's Battle Pass and the skin shop. Hytale probably won't be too far a stretch from what we already know in that regard. They want to allow server owners to monetize in a plethora of ways while maintaining their own set of guidelines. This means servers could sell ranks, items, perks, and many more custom-coded things, which there is a lot of in Roblox. We see that in almost every game. They could do this with regular transactions, or they could allow for something like Robux itself, maybe a high coin, as many in the community have suggested. They could also eventually look to a UGC marketplace, actually hosting things like assets. Number 4. Customization. Now, in my opinion, Roblox is the cream of the crop when it comes to character creation. Hear me out. Yes, they don't look out of this world. While there's nothing here that necessarily screams AAA, the way in which Roblox sets up and allows for customization is important. Roblox has what's called a UGC, or User-Generated Catalog. On this page, you can browse through a huge variety of item categories from hair to face structure, facial features, clothes, accessories, pets, all to equip to your custom avatar. In most games, you can freely enter with this avatar, showing off your outfit combinations. But the trick comes when I mentioned that users can sell these items too. Things like shirts and watches, they can be sold by users for Robux. Players can actually upload their models and sell them for a profit on this store. There are even things like limited edition items too, some that go for huge amounts and auction off. There's trading, a whole economy basically exists here. Sure, there's a lot of free stuff, but if you watch enough Roblox YouTubers, you'll see that they all wear some pretty hard to get gear, even items that were released exclusive for events that are no longer available. It's basically a recreation of the fashion industry. Funnily enough, on Roblox they started this by accident when a glitch allowed for 2 hat items to be applied at once. Now there's likely tens of millions of item and clothing combos, from capes to watches to backpacks, particle effects, and many more. There's currently no place to buy in-game assets or anything to help make your game on Roblox. It's all outfit driven. But that's where things like the Minecraft marketplace have succeeded in selling in-game content. We see this even with Skyrim when it comes to monetized mods. Sure, Minecraft Bedrock have also started to sell custom skin parts and emotes for money, but clearly this shows that the method is working, even if not everyone agrees with it. One downside to this whole economy though is that Roblox devs can decide what players wear in their games. While most opt to leave the player alone out of fear of them being alienated for not being able to wear the clothes they paid for, some dare to change up who or what the player plays as. Sometimes an animal, a werewolf, an inanimate object, or even something 2D. It's cool, but simultaneously devalues that UGC economy, so there needs to be a balance. Games can also technically even charge for their own items, ones that are exclusive to that game alone. When you're playing that game, you wear them, but when you leave, you don't. A way of keeping players retained to your specific game. Now, how does Hytale stack up with that? We know there's a character creation system, and we know servers will definitely have monetization with guidelines, but that's about it. There's been mention on the website of user-generated content, so we get the gist that Hypixel Studios wants something similar to Roblox's UGC or their own marketplace, where users go out of their way to create their own content and set their own price, it being hosted or pushed by the Hytale platform itself. Maybe a high coin similar to Robux to help transaction security. There could be infrastructure to support the purchasing and selling of things like clothing, maps, or mods. For now, of course, we can all but guess, as the price of the game is majorly going to be the deciding factor here. Pay to play means there likely wouldn't be too many Hytale official clothing items for sale. Most would come with the game and it'd be left up to the community. But if they go free to play, then there's definitely an area they'd make their money. Number 5. Tools. We've discussed this a bit prior, but Roblox offers a program called Roblox Studio that provides many tools and features for a player to create their ideal game for free. It runs on Lua, and assets can be imported and moved around freely. There's probably hundreds of complex functions that I don't understand enough to explain right now, but essentially it allows devs to create things like this, and this, and this. The key to Roblox's success has been allowing their tools to get better, adding new ones over time. Hytale's seemingly advanced toolkit will feature a model maker which helps with animation and asset creation, and even runs on browsers so that users can see each other's updates live. They have world-shaping tools, tools for filming and machinimas, different modes for the user to use, many different commands to alter the world, and code writing abilities too. They've even thought about modders in almost every aspect of their game design, providing useful functions that only seem logical if the team expected them to be built upon in future. The key to Hytale's tools being as successful as Roblox is listening to dev and player feedback, updating the software, and releasing even more useful features as time goes on. Number 6. Development and future updates. Now, earlier I did say we see no official spaces from Roblox, but the company does pop in every now and again, whether to co-host community events, award shows, and Fortnite-style live concerts, or even partnering with existing games like they do each year with their Egg Hunt. Roblox is a master of evolution, having outlasted many titles and communities in its 15-year lifespan. The addition of Arthro, the innovation of UGC, the understanding of empowering the player, growing all the way to the point of launching their own IPO, meaning they're traded on the stock market. The key to this has been updating the software, systems, infrastructure, behind the scenes, the mainframe of their platform. Roblox has probably been stripped apart and put back together many times over, growing with its users and allowing for bigger, better things to be created. The character rig itself that users play by default has had over 6 different revamps over the years, and similarly, if you think about it, Hytale looks to do the same. We have to remember that Hypixel started Hytale in 2016. That's 5 years of development, technically a third of Roblox's lifespan, and it's already undergone some huge evolution. A lot of planning and research has gone into making this game the best that it can be, and their plans don't stop at launch. We've heard from Hypixel themselves that they want to continue developing and updating the game into the foreseeable future, at some point mentioning they foresee a lifespan of upwards of 10 years if things went perfectly, with updates to their server, potential new planets for adventure mode, and a bunch of tools that could help spawn a huge community for modding. It's safe to say Hytale is looking good on this front. Number 7. Accessibility. This one's pretty simple. Accessibility is important. How wide and far your game reaches, aka the platform it's on, and the people it caters to will dictate your audience demographic, your catchment area. All very fancy ways of saying more people can play your game. As far as we know, Hytale is only planned for Windows PC and Mac OS. Roblox runs on both of these, as well as Xbox, Oculus, iOS, and Android. You may not realize, but console and mobile are a huge sector of the gaming market, so catering to these guys has definitely encouraged Roblox's spread, its accessibility, while doing things like regularly updating, rewarding developers, and providing multiple styles, customizations, and genre has allowed anyone to pick up a device and create themselves within the Roblox metaverse. They can find the right experience for them. Will Hytale move to other platforms? I mean, they have the variety in terms of what can be done in their game. We've already seen some examples of what different game types could be possible server-side, but many games also stick to PC and do just fine. Business is business after all, so this will be left up to the guys at the top. Number 8. Friend systems. Roblox allows for you to add friends and even join in on their game. There's messaging and a whole bunch of account security systems and multiplayer options that essentially makes the whole thing a social network. This is great. It makes Roblox like an all-in-one game engine meets social media platform, and whether Hytale goes that deep probably relies on Riot's larger systems. You see, Riot runs their own account system, so if Hytale used that same thing, it would mean updating that whole Riot system to include all the features that Hytale wants to add. In concept images, we have seen things like this, heard you can add friends, and even see what server they're playing on. We've had a brief description of what the server browser will look like, so Hytale are definitely moving in the right direction when it comes to the social side of things. Number 9. YouTube's ecosystem. This one isn't as simple as you might think. Video content for every game is not equal in entertainment value, and while part of that is subjective, I think we can all agree that we'd rather watch this than this. Certain games just come with that watchability, be it as a let's play or live. Some things can be action-packed, others are calming, and Roblox has almost infinite possibility when it comes to this, considering all the different games and servers it hosts. Plus, with the platform always evolving and growing, it seems time never slows down for you to catch up. Therefore, it's probably understandable that the YouTube ecosystem for Roblox is massive. Hundreds of videos with hundreds of thousands of views daily. Roblox isn't a one and done let's play with the same story each time. There's so many games to play, and even if you play the same game all the time, those games have roleplay features, rollout updates, they're built as open world, there's interactive elements, things for the player to do and explore in a countless assortment of ways, all creating a content stream that is only matched by games or platforms of this caliber. We see it with Minecraft, we see it with Fortnite's new seasons and custom maps, even with regular modding API, it provides a reason for more content to be made. Skyrim, Terraria, Fallout, all games that hugely benefited from their modding community. And Hytale has its spot on. I don't even need to read these things out loud, just by looking at the Hytale trailer, you know there's content there for years. Number 10. Dev forums. Last but not least, an overlooked area of Roblox is the developer forums, a private access website that only well-known and dedicated platform users can comment on. Here, Roblox has created a thriving space for community feedback and empowerment of their biggest fans and developers. It's heavily moderated, and threads allow for users to recruit one another, advertise their projects, and even discuss the fundamentals of developing in Roblox Studio. A medium like this is very important. We saw it with the Minecraft forums too. These spaces are vital to socialization and connecting your communities together. When people are building projects, when there are recruiters out there, you need to be able to connect them with the people that have the talent, the people that know your game. We know that Hytale has a Reddit and a Discord planned, but their very own section of the website for feedback or communication would certainly be beneficial once the game launches. It's no doubt that Roblox is a multiplayer juggernaut, a hosting platform and tool provider to thousands of young developers and millions of players. But will Hytale reach this stage as a platform? There's so many factors to consider, and I've only briefly discussed a few of them here. Does it take age and enough time? Or if they play their cards right, if they use a lot of what made Roblox so successful, could Hypixel Studios' Hytale come out as a similar, perhaps even better, platform? We'll simply have to wait and see. If you enjoy competitions and prizes, my Discord server is linked below. We're hosting an art and creative writing competition separately right now with gift card prizes for fans of Hytale, Minecraft, and Roblox. You can head to kweekwee.com for limited edition 50k Pigeon Dagger merch. Use code Gordon for 15% off. Shout out to the awesome channel members for making this content possible. Continue smiling, thank you for liking, subscribing, and thanks as always for watching Kweebec Corner. Stay safe and keep free.